Well, we've made it. Welcome back for the grand finale. After 14 parts covering everything from the power grid all the way to the network fabric, we're here at the final installment of our deep dive into AI data centers. It's time to look ahead, see what's next, and wrap up this incredible journey.
And just as a reminder, our whole goal here has been to walk through the key points of each chapter of this amazing guide from Virtualization Options LLC. And now, we're at the finish line. We're tackling Chapter 15, the one that ties it all together and really looks to the horizon. So let's dive in one last time.
So for our final chapter, we're going to hit 4 key areas. First, we'll talk about the big picture, what this all represents. Then we'll look at the next massive challenge, cooling. After that, we'll cover the principles that are absolutely essential for success. And finally, we'll talk about the mandate for designing the data centers of the future.
Okay, let's get started. You know, it's really worth taking a moment just to appreciate the sheer scale of what we've been talking about this whole time. These aren't just big warehouses with a bunch of computers in them. No, they are something way, way more significant.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Humanity's largest computational instruments. It's not an exaggeration. Everything we've discussed, the massive power substations, the miles of fiber optic cable, the intricate networking, it all comes together to build these absolute marvels of modern technology.
So, when you build something on that massive scale, it naturally leads to the next great engineering puzzle. As these instruments get more and more powerful, they throw off an unbelievable amount of heat. And figuring out how to manage that heat, well, that is the real frontier of innovation right now.
And the heart of the problem is pretty simple, really. Every new generation of GPUs gets way more powerful, which is great, but they also get a lot hotter. We are seriously pushing the absolute physical limits of what our traditional cooling methods can handle, and it's forcing the entire industry to adapt, and fast.
You can actually see a clear path for this evolution. You know, we're moving from what we use now, a mix of air and some liquid cooling, to much more advanced solutions. The next big thing, which is already getting pretty popular, is direct liquid cooling, or DLC. But the real future, well, that might be something that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, two-phase immersion cooling.
So when you compare them, you see this really interesting trade-off. Direct liquid cooling is kind of the workhorse for today's high-density racks. It works, and the infrastructure is pretty standard. But two-phase immersion, that's a whole different beast. We're talking about literally dunking all the expensive hardware into a specially designed fluid. It can handle insane heat levels, but it's way more complex. You've got to manage these fluids that boil at really low temperatures, make sure everything is perfectly sealed. It even brings in totally new safety rules.
So you might be asking, why go through all that trouble? Well, the payoff is this number. Potentially over 300 kilowatts in a single rack. Now, to put that into perspective for you, a lot of traditional data center racks run at less than 10 kilowatts. We're talking about a 30 times increase in power and heat in the exact same footprint. That's not just an upgrade, it's a complete game changer that will power the next wave of AI supercomputers.
But you know, as this guide makes so clear, all the futuristic tech in the world isn't enough. If you want to succeed in the long run, building and running these places depends on a set of core principles that go way beyond just the hardware. It really comes down to the human element.
And here's what it takes. Success is a mix of all these things. It's not just about being a brilliant engineer. It's also about understanding finance, working with local communities, and having a serious, unwavering commitment to sustainability. Yeah, you need technical excellence for sure, but you also need the discipline to run these complex systems around the clock and the strategic vision to plan for a future that's changing faster than ever.
And that leads us to the final and maybe the most important point. How do you take all those principles and turn them into a physical building? I mean, how do you spend billions of dollars on a facility today when you know for a fact that the tech inside it is going to be radically different in just 5 years?
Well, the answer is this idea of flexible infrastructure. This is the holy grail. You have to design buildings that are built to evolve. The whole key is to create a sort of shell that can handle more power in the future, that can adapt from one cooling system to another, and that can house the next generation of GPUs, all without having to bulldoze the place and start over.
And that, my friends, brings us pretty much to the end of our journey. After digging into every single piece of these amazing structures, the guide leaves us with one final thought. It's kind of like a mission statement for anybody who's going to work in this field.
And that just perfectly sums up the ultimate goal, doesn't it?
It's a powerful reminder that these projects aren't just about technical wins. They're tools for progress, and they come with a huge responsibility to the communities and the world they're a part of. Thank you so much for joining me for this entire series. It has been an absolutely fascinating look into the very backbone of the AI revolution.